Swisslog, together with the Australian Trade and Logistics Corporation, is holding an afternoon of automation in Sydney on August the 2nd. The event will be an informative session about automation exclusively to ATLC guests, showcasing the latest automation technology and market trends. This session will feature speakers across the sector who will discuss current activities. Join me as I chat with a few of them here. First up is Kerry Bannick, the General Manager at Linfox. As an experienced leader in supply chain strategy, Kerry tells us more about supply chain solutions, innovation and automation in the 3PL industry. Kerry Bannick, the General Manager at Linfox, good morning. How are you?
Wonderful, and how are you?
Good, thank you. Now, Kerry, Linfox has had a partnership with Swisslog over the last 4 to 5 years. Could you please explain to us the journey into automation and the reasons why?
Sure. Being a 3PL, so a third-party logistics provider, in Australia, we work with many large organizations who are partners of ours, customers of ours, who are very focused on the strategic development of their supply chains, the resiliency of those supply chains. And as one of the relationship points that we have with them is the development of how we can improve them. So we've worked on 3 different projects with Swisslog over the those last 4 or 5 years that we've brought to full fruition for 3 different customers at Linfox. So 3 different types of supply chain solutions in automation.
Yeah, wonderful. Now, Kerry, how would you describe that time? How has that improved safety and overall processing within Linfox over the last 5 years since joining with Swisslog?
Well, each of the projects is quite different. The largest one that we've done with our BevChain, beverage industry solution provider on behalf of Lion, is really about the power store. So we've eliminated order picking and shifted that into full pallet automation. And we've certainly seen a change in, forklifts interacting with the building, causing those types of damages and potential types of issues in safety. So it's certainly been something that's been an improvement.
Yeah.
And for the most part, it's about that resiliency, that flexibility, and particularly for that site, about the strategic location of it in regard to the customer.
So over that time, Kerry, how would you explain the customer expectations? How has that changed over the years, and what sort of an impact is that having on the company itself and the delivery of safety going forward?
Yeah, safety is certainly at the top of the list for Linfox in terms of our Vision Zero strategy for safety. So often, paramount in terms of one of the key priorities. But in addition to that, all customers are really looking at their supply chains, especially post-COVID, to be thinking about the resiliency, the flexibility, that capability of keeping things moving within Australia, really, in order to keep the supply chains working. And automation plays a huge part in that. And so almost every operation that we look at, we will do a review of whether or not automation can bring a benefit in those areas.
And what does the future hold? 5 years, 10 years? Fair to say, fair to ask?
I think we're still on the uptick of, what role does automation play? And I think we will continue to see that play a stronger and larger role. And I think the way that we evaluate those things has really changed because of COVID. It's not just about the bottom line saying, can we get a financial return on this project? Again, it's about the resiliency and the flexibility of those supply chains. So that being said, we're going to see more and more projects come to fruition as a result.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Kerry, for providing this short
insight into what will be discussed on the day, which is August the 2nd, Afternoon of Automation in Sydney as part of Swisslog and the Australian Trade and Logistics Corporation. So we look forward to seeing you there.
Great. Me too. Thanks.
Thank you.
The concept of vertical farming has been gaining popularity for a while now. The acute need for sustainability in the current landscape is expected to drive this revolutionary technology that is far more conclusive to the environment than its conventional counterpart. Vertical farming techniques allow for greater production of crop, requiring less land in use and less water consumption. My next guest is Paul Millett, the co-founder of indoor farming technology providers Invertigro. This fully integrated, cost-effective indoor vertical farming solutions enable sustainable and reliable production of fresh and healthy produce. Established in 2017, its mission is to feed the world the smarter way. Good afternoon, Paul. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Good afternoon.
What you guys do is pretty remarkable, Paul. Can you please explain why you'll be at this Sydney event?
Yeah, thank you. Very exciting for Invertigro to be partnering with Swisslog and looking at what's the potential for the future of indoor farming. And you know, Invertigro as a business is building a really unique technology offering, which includes hardware, software and services in a modular way that allows us to literally convert latent spaces or warehouses or brand new greenfield sites into highly efficient indoor vertical farms. And the technology that we're building is completely compatible with the amazing work that Swisslog do in building automated indoor warehouses and facilities the planet over. And we are very excited about what could be done together in this way.
Now, Paul, the company was established in 2017 with a mission to feed the world the smart way, and you've recently partnered with Woolworths to launch Australia's first in-store vertical farm, demonstrating vertical farming in action with commonly used herbs for sale. Can you please explain why you've decided to establish this business?
Yeah, so we started the business with a mission, as you rightly pointed out, to feed the world the smarter way. So we're excited to be partnering with Woolworths here in Australia and doing some really cool stuff here in Australia. But our vision is to take our technology globally and to allow the establishment of highly productive indoor vertical farms literally anywhere across the planet. So by building technology that allows the conversion of brownfield sites or latent spaces or new spaces into highly productive indoor vertical farms, it means people can affordably set up businesses to do this, bring this future of farming to life. And our vision and our premise as a business is to enable those businesses to be successful through making it affordable to buy this technology and get started, and then highly efficient and profitable as a business venture thereafter. So the economics stack up. There's flexibility to grow a whole range of crops, literally, anywhere, because of the controlled environment parameters. With Woolworths, we're really excited to partner with them and bring this vision to life in Australia. It's partly to demonstrate a new supply model, growing within 2 kilometres of the store. So it's hyper local. That's food meters almost compared to food miles. We get rid of a big chunk of waste. They can eliminate packaging and have a really fresh living herb on sale. And to have a partner as big as Woolworths, who's the leading and the biggest retailer in Australia, we can educate and start to educate the market in what's possible. So a really exciting partnership there.
That is pretty remarkable. Now, Paul, do you believe Australians are ready for this?
I think it's a really interesting question and a really interesting time to ask the question, given we've had floods and fires and locusts and then more floods and crazy weather in the last few years. We've always had pretty crazy weather, but I think recent events have really made Australians sit up and look at their supply chains and look where their food comes from. And right now we're having an issue with winter crops just not being planted because we couldn't get them in the ground. We're we're seeing shelves empty of lettuce for probably the first time in many people's living memory, if ever. And so, it really is time to sit up and really look at alternatives. So I think it's time and good timing for us to be sort of spreading the message.
And Paul, how is Swisslog helping make your automation better and easier?
We've built a technology offering that is compatible with traditional and conventional materials handling infrastructure the world over. And so by building our inverter cube is the actual module itself that is the farming unit. And that farming unit is a bit bigger than a standard pallet, but we can fit 1,000 to 2,000 plants in there at any one time. And that unit can then be moved around within a warehouse, stacked within infrastructure that would be the sweet spot for Swisslog. And that materials handling piece is a big chunk of actually taking out operational costs, the OPEX component, the labour component for farming. Travel time is expensive. If you're moving plants around the farm from literally the field through to where you're going to pack and process, we can move the whole farming module, the inverter cube, from where it's growing in the facility through to a staging area where it can be harvested and then replanted, and then goes back into the farm, which is a 3D farm going spatially as high as you want, literally any scale. So bringing that piece to life will be a real game changer for this industry, and we're delighted to be looking at what we can do with Swisslog.
That is so remarkable. Who would have thought that modern farming would evolve into this? And with that being said, Paul, what does the future hold?
Look, my vision, my dream, I guess, is to try and make the food supply chain as close to our consumption as possible. Get effectively reducing the number of trucks on the road, reducing waste, giving the land a chance to regenerate, because we're not giving soils a chance to regenerate and us to do better things for the environment. So by actually rethinking the food supply chain and that model of growing where the population is, which is big farms in the cities, but also smaller farms in and around regional and even remote communities, we can improve the quality of food, improve the way that we look after and look after the land and the environment, and get a better outcome for everyone.
Thank you, Paul, for giving us a little snippet of what's to come on August the 2nd at the Afternoon of Automation event. We do look forward to seeing you there and hearing more about your remarkable stories. So very much. Thank you very much to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.